overvalued sector, जो बहुत overvalued है. Whenever there is sucking out of liquidity, anything which is a high PE company, those companies get hit. That is why if you can observe, Indian markets are shut right now. But if you see the Infosys ADRs that have been down, आप अगर observe करोगे, if I go on Infi ADR, I have to write Infosys. What is ADR? आप लोग पूछ रहे होगे. ADR is the American Depository Receipt. Basically, if Infosys as a company wants to raise money from America, if they want to get themselves listed in America, it is done through the instrument of ADR. If you want to get listed in UK or in Europe, you call it GDR. So for example, Reliance doesn't have an ADR, it has a GDR. So Reliance is there in Europe, but it's not there in America. So हम बोलते हैं Reliance GDR, but companies like Vedanta, Wipro, they are in America, so उनका ADR होता है. So Infosys ADR, इसका what is the ticker? ये देखो, Infosys America, NYSE. If I click on that, you can see that it has plunged drastically. In the last 3-4 days, you can see how negatively after the result it just plunged down, and it's already down about 8-9%, even today 2%. So this basically means अभी 2 दिन Indian markets बंद था. So God bless Indian IT on Monday. Because if Infosys falls down, it's already been neglected in the last couple of days. अगर IT गिरेगा, IT is already around 20% weightage in India, so the Nifty takes a hit, and that is why you can see SGX is down 100 points today. हमारा closing क्या था? Our closing on Wednesday was around 17, I believe 560, and it's already down 200 points from Wednesday, from जो भी हमारा last closing था. So मतलब 200 point negative तो अभी दिख रहा है, but again we can't judge it. Anything can happen over the weekend, positive, negative, but as of now things are not comfortable. I'll discuss them all in detail. उसके बाद I always have a look at the Indian bond yields. Again, same logic. अगर इंडिया की bond yields बढ़ेगी, इसका क्या मतलब है? That there are expectations that it is high time the rate of interest, rate of repo rate in India will go higher. If repo rate in India, ये जो expectation है, look at the charts. You all know basic price action. It's a clear breakout. Generally, we don't look at technical patterns on the bond yield. It's not required because they are not technical tradable instruments. But you can clearly see a market structure based breakout. यहाँ पे एक build-up हुआ था and breakout. And when this goes higher, what will fall down? You can look at the Nifty IT. So I am trying to make things very simple. जो मैं आपको logic समझा रहा हूँ. Bond yield spikes मतलब in the June monetary policy. हर 2 महीने में हमारी MPC meeting होती है. When the RBI comes and decides rate hike करना है कि नहीं करना, what is the monetary policy stand? So if this is going higher, I am just थोड़ा सा changing my terminology. I am right now looking at Nifty IT divided by Nifty. You can see right now how the relative strength of Nifty IT in Nifty has just, I would say, gone down. I will discuss these metrics in 5 minutes, but just try to understand. Is all of this clear जो मैं समझा रहा हूँ? बड़ा basic मैं आपको समझा रहा हूँ. अभी तक मैंने difficult नहीं किया. But I hope you've understood when bond yields go higher, when inflation pressure is there, the IT company starts to go down. That is why in the last couple of days, you will never hear from me. मैं कभी नहीं बोला. समझ है? Clear अभी तक? Everything is clear till now? If anyone can say yes in the chat, please. Okay. उसके बाद I have my American companies, Dow Jones. Dow Jones, you have to track. It's I would say the top 30 companies in America. That is what comes in Dow Jones. It's a good metric like Sensex for us. Track that. Then we have the S&P 500 SPY. इसको हम SPY बोलते हैं. It's the trading view ticker is SPX. These are the top 500 companies by market cap in America. So one of the top metrics that you watch for in America. Dow Jones is generally, you all must have a simple doubt कि why is S&P down, but why is Dow Jones ऊपर? Anyone knows why? Can anyone tell me why is Dow Jones ऊपर but SPY down? कोई बता सकता है? क्या लगता है? What is the logic? दोनों अमेरिका है. इंडिया में तो नहीं होता कि सेंसेक्स ऊपर है, निफ्टी गिरा हुआ, बट यहाँ पे ऐसा क्यों है? कौन बताएगा? सोचो. So someone has given the answer. Low IT weightage. बढ़िया. See, Dow Jones is an industrial average. You will have more, as someone said, it's got less or no weightage of IT. That is why SPY and US 100, which is Nasdaq, they move in same direction. because जो Nasdaq IT companies है, they are there in your S&P 500, but it is not present in Dow Jones. तो Dow Jones में क्या है? Dow Jones में आपका more of banking stocks etc. And you already know in the last 1-2 hours on Telegram मैंने update किया है. Morgan Stanley results came out, Goldman Sachs result came out, JP Morgan came out. So because they are going higher, Morgan Stanley is up right now. I think Goldman is also flattish right now. Because those guys are higher, that is why Dow is doing well, but Nasdaq is down because IT is down, bond yield has gone higher. That is why IT underperformance is seen in S&P 500, but it is not seen in Dow Jones. So you can see कि अगर Nasdaq गिर रहा है बार-बार, मतलब it is bad for who? Bad for Indian IT. Because Indian IT and Nasdaq, they are brother sisters. The other thing मैंने last meeting में आपको एक अप्रोच सिखाया था that how do you trail stop loss. Just see how beautifully it has been working, and I will show it to you in Indian market also. If you all remember the importance of 17,800, उस दिन लगा था मार्केट बुलिश हो जाएगा, बट हमने डिसाइड किया था 17,800 के ऊपर आएगा तो बुलिश है. अभी मार्केट क्यों गिरा है मैं सब लिंक करूंगा, बट इफ यू सी दिस अप्रोच राइट नाउ, यहाँ पे किसी ने शॉर्ट किया है, देखो डबल टॉप बना है यहाँ पे, someone has gone short over here, so meaning he will be trailing stop loss above the last candle on the closing basis. यहाँ पे stop loss went over here, you got a green candle here, maybe at the 20 moving average, but what have we discussed? Until this guy gets taken out, people who have gone short, they are not bothered, they will not get tensed, and that is why again market came down. Now, because you have had another red candle, everyone from here will trail stop loss to here. That is why market फिर गिरा. So everyone from here will trail the stop loss here. So even if the market saw a green candle today in yesterday's market, so what? Has it gone above this high? Nahi. That is why again it has come under pressure. And the same thing you have seen also in Nifty, if you remember. Exact same thing. हफ्ता हो गया. अब देखो आप लोग, हमने क्या डिस्कस किया था? मार्केट यहाँ पे गिरा, यहाँ पे स्टॉप लॉस था. मार्केट यहाँ पे गिरा, यहाँ पे स्टॉप लॉस था. मार्केट यहाँ पे गिरा, यहाँ पे स्टॉप लॉस था. बट हैज द मार्केट given you closing above the trailing stop loss? It hasn't. It might have given you a high for 10-15 minutes, but it has not given you a closing. अगर आप observe करोगे, look at my top column. The high of the candle is 17,787. But if you see the high and the closing of this candle is what? 17,784. 3 points is stop loss of seller got protected. That is why agla candle down, agla candle down, agla candle down. The market kept on falling down, which means what? It means that I understand you are at the 20 MA, which is a good support for the market, but it means until 17,600 or 17,650, these guys don't get topped out on a close to close basis, the bulls will not regain control. It also confirms that you might be at support, but you don't just buy the support. You will buy the support only and only if there is confirmation coming, which will only be done if some pattern is happening and you are topping out these levels. Is this clear? मैंने आपको पूरे हफ्ते का व्यू दे दिया, समझ आ गया? Just let me know on the chat yes or no. समझ आ जाएगा आपको. Anyone has a doubt or anything else? So ये एक अप्रोच आपको मैंने बताया है. Look at the daily candle, समझो. Look at the weekly candle. Where stop loss, उसको सोच के व्यू बनाओ. That is why हमने जब put short किए थे, if you remember my telegram, I said sell 17,400 puts, but I said get out intraday. जो नहीं निकला होता उसका लॉस होता. Because of this, because buying तो अभी आई नहीं है. समझ गए? याद रखो एक और चीज, टेक्निकली तो मैं बहुत कुछ सिखाऊंगा, but today's morning telegram message, please keep your SIP inflow strong. Market has fallen down 800-700 point. Your SIP inflows have to be strong. Use these dips no matter what they are to do SIPs. SIP क्या होता है? Example देता हूँ. I've been giving you a name, ICICI Bank. उसका ये मतलब नहीं है it will go up in 1 month. You should always, as an investor, if I want to give you facts, I'll show it to you in a couple of days, in maybe today also. I've already put more than 10 lakh in ICICI Bank. I don't want it to go higher right now, because अगर वो अभी बढ़ेगा, I will not earn what I want to earn. So I am personally hoping कि वो और गिरे, मुझे loss दिखे in my equity, so I can keep on topping it up. So even in SIP, आपका logic है, if you are bullish on ICICI for the next 4, 5, 6 years, keep on adding. 750 का level है, 650 का एक range बना लो, जब भी गिरता है add करते जाओ, add करते जाओ, add करते जाओ. Someone will have a doubt कि देवांग गिर रहा है, it's good for you because आपको better NAV मिल रहा है, better price मिल रहा है. But what if due to some reason ICICI Bank in 1 month falls down 10%? Good for you. In such areas, do a STP. मतलब bulk addition करो. So what I do as an individual is I will identify कि देवांग 20 लाख रुपए डालना ICICI बैंक के अंदर. अगर 20 लाख डालना है then इतने डिप्स पे हम ऐड करते जाएंगे. बट अगर गलती से कोई 10% का डिप मिल गया then मैं 5 लाख सीधा डाल दूंगा. So this is how you think when you are doing mutual funds or when you are doing your SIP. Same thing for small cap. I'll give you an insight. I'm trying to link everything in the current market scenario. I met the CEO of DSP the other day, and we talked to him. We said, "Yeah, when do you put money in small mid caps? Because if you observe, the small cap index has not given any return. 2008 से लेकर आज तक आप अगर कंपेयर करोगे, the small cap index is still there. कहीं भी नहीं हिला, maybe 1-2%. Nifty has gone 4% ऊपर, but small cap वहीं पे है. So he said, देखो small cap में our ideology is always the same. We do quarterly SIPs. कहता है as an individual, we do quarterly SIPs in small cap. मतलब we don't do monthly SIP. We will say कि यार हमें 1 लाख रुपए डालना है आज, अगला 1 लाख in a small cap fund we'll put after 3 months. Because small cap में क्या होता है, some companies will go into mid cap, some companies will fail, only a 1% will go into large cap. Small cap उनका ही फायदा है ना जो large cap बनते हैं, but बहुत कम लोग ऊपर जाते हैं. So small cap में पैसा कब बनाते हो? जब भी मार्केट में क्रैश आए तब स्मॉल कैप पैसा बनाता है, अदरवाइज कभी नहीं बनाता. तो आप कभी भी ऑब्जर्व करो, जब भी मार्केट ने क्रैश दिया है तब स्मॉल कैप में हम पैसा डालते हैं, थोड़ा रिस्क लेके. सो इफ यू आर अ स्मॉल कैप पर्सन, बिकॉज समवन आस्क्ड मी इन द ग्रुप ओनली, इसे स्मॉल कैप में क्या करना है, हैव अ 3 मंथली सिप, एंड व्हेनेवर मार्केट गिव्स यू अननेचुरल करेक्शंस, उसके अंदर एसटीपी करो, ज्यादा पैसा बल्क में लगाओ. एनीवेज, गोइंग विद माय वॉच लिस्ट. So Nasdaq को ट्रैक करो, US 100, it tracks all the IT stocks in America. Then always track Russell 2000. This is Russell 2000. ये बहुत important है. Russell 2000 is a small cap 2000 companies in America. This tells you how is the broader market in America performing. एक rule होता है हमारी market में, fundamental. I always believe कि fundamentals जो बने हैं in the last hundreds of years, they always have given you some base. Rule ये होता है, if the broader market wants to perform, तो आपका small cap, mid cap दिखा देगा आपको. For example, मैं हमेशा एक बात बोलता हूँ, guys, if you want to be bullish on the market, let the small cap index go and break out above 2100. आप टेक्निकल देखो ना, आपको दिख रहा है कि जो रसल 2000 है, इसका ये एक रेंज है. तो अगर रसल 2000 का एक ब्रेकआउट आएगा, सस्टेन करेगा, देन वी विल बिकम बुलिश ऑन अमेरिका. बट अगर रसल 2000 रेंज बाउंड है, या इफ द रसल 2000 स्टार्ट्स टू फॉल डाउन, इट इज नॉट अ गुड इंडिकेटर. बिकॉज व्हाट इज निफ्टी? फॉरगेट रसल 2000. व्हाट इज निफ्टी? निफ्टी इज ओनली 50 कंपनीज. इफ यू वांट टू मेजर द हेल्थ ऑफ इंडियन इकोनॉमी, do you think that top 50 companies can do so? Because already the top 50 companies are at the best. अगर मार्केट में कोविड होगा, Reliance will survive. Reliance will never show कि हम प्रॉब्लम में है. But there will be small cap companies that will show यार देवांग प्रॉब्लम है इंडिया में. So it is always important to measure and always track what are small caps and mid caps of a country doing. So India, small caps of America, because they tell you broader market क्या कर रहा है. So if let us say Dow is going higher, small mid cap are going higher, तो बड़ी बात है. Same thing when you trade in India also. अगर निफ्टी ऊपर बढ़ रहा है, but small cap mid cap गिर रहे हैं, that nifty rally will not sustain. इसका ये मतलब है, if nifty is falling down, small mid cap गिर रहा है, मतलब फॉल सही है, गलत फॉल नहीं है. It's an indicator. You can measure divergence. अगर निफ्टी गिर रहा है but small cap बढ़ रहे हैं, मतलब ये fall will get bought into, because broader market is saying sooner or later things are okay. फर्क नहीं पड़ता. समझ आए यहाँ तक? Anyone has a doubt? That is why if you remember, टेलीग्राम अगर आप पढ़ोगे, मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ, guys, we will become aggressively bullish जब रसल 2100 को ब्रेक करेगा, बट उसने एक दिन करा एंड ब्रोक डाउन, बिकॉज वी ऑलवेज फॉलो रूल ऑफ 2 कि 2 क्लोजिंग मिलेंगे, हम बुलिश होंगे, बट अभी तक नहीं हो पाया. सो जब तक अमेरिका का ओवरऑल ब्रॉडर मार्केट नहीं बोलता बुलिश, तो मार्केट बुलिश नहीं. दैट इज व्हाई रैली आया, इट गॉट सोल्ड इट टू, बिकॉज ब्रॉडर मार्केट दिखा नहीं रहा है. सो आई ऑलवेज ट्रैक Dinesh, I always track the small cap 2000. Then I would always suggest you to track the KBW. क्या बोल रहा हूँ? The ticker for this is KBW. KBW is, so Soham is saying, where can we see the small and mid cap companies? I will show you in India, दिखाऊंगा, don't worry. I also want you all to track the KBW. KBW is the banking index in America. Like you all have Nifty Bank. The same index in America is called KBW. This is tracking all the banking companies. So if you want to know why is Dow Jones doing strong, because the KBW is doing okay. It's because IT is down, but KBW, the banks are doing okay. Matlab, there is some stability in banks. That is what it is showing. Then I also like to track the S&P GSCI. GSCI basically tells me it's an index which is made by Goldman Sachs. It tells me about the commodity prices. मतलब, if I want to track the inflation in the global market, if I want to track हो क्या रहा है energy wise, commodity price, ये बताता है. So for example, UK oil tells me crude, but crude is not the only commodity. When I say inflation, it means everything, wheat, crude, energy, सब है. So everything कहाँ लिखेगा मेरे को? It will be seen in GSCI, Goldman Sachs Commodity Index. There are many things. There is also CRB. एक और इंडेक्स होता है अमेरिका में, CRB, वो भी देख सकते हो, बट आई लाइक टू सी द GSCI. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ योर GSCI स्टार्ट्स टू ब्रेक आउट, मतलब देयर इज ह्यूज inflation that is being expected, matlab the commodity prices are off the roof, which will mean what? Metals will do well, which will mean what? Energy will do well, which is bad for India or bad for the economy. It's as simple as that. So higher is the GSCI, higher is the index. That is why if you are observing, when the GSCI started to break out, you can always see कब से बढ़ना शुरू है, around 28th of February. That is why if you see the Nifty energy to Nifty index, आप ये observe करो. Can you see the exact date? 28th February. What am I showing you right now? I am showing you Nifty energy divided by Nifty. मतलब how much is the relative strength of Nifty energy Nifty? You can see from 28th Feb, the moment the GSCI broke out, that is the moment Nifty energy became a more prominent weight in Nifty. बहुत सिंपल है. How do I get this chart? I will show you. But I am just trying to prove correlation. Look at the Nifty metal to Nifty ratio. From 20th Feb, it made a bottom, massive gains. Massive gain. Why? Commodity prices going higher. सोचो ना, if commodity prices like metals go strong, अगर aluminium का price बढ़ रहा है, which means Hindal को भी अपना price बढ़ाएगा aluminium का, it will sell to at an expensive price to the consumer. We have to pay more revenue for them. They will make more money. That is what's happening. That is how you start to correlate things. So I always like to track the GSCI. Then I also have the XOI, which is nothing but, एक second, it's not working, 1 second. ये थोड़ा सा आप छोड़ सकते हो, for the time being we will leave this. I don't know why it's not working. Yeah. This is also the oil index in America. So for the time you can leave it. इसको भी छोड़ दो, I tell you when to see later. Then I always follow the S&P VIX. What is the VIX? How to understand it, we will do later, but put it in the watch list. Then I also, that's America. Then I come to the Hong Kong markets. What is the Asian markets doing? Because I want to see when I wake up in the morning, how is Hong Kong performing? Because whatever is happening in Asia, what are the domestic cues in Asia, that will be trickled or reflected in India. So whenever you wake up, look at the Hong Kong market. Look at the Shanghai China market. Look at the Japanese market. Which is your Nikkei 25. इसको देखो. Then look at the European markets. FTSE 100. This is the European index, London index. इसको देखो. Then look at the German market, DAX. It's important. It's one of the most important, I would say, one of the most heavily traded CFDs in the world, in Europe. इसको देखो. Then look at the Paris markets, CAC. Why is it going higher? Because of the presidential elections there. Because of that. Then look at Stoxx 600. You already know this concept of EU. India is India, but Europe they are very strong. It's EU. So Stock 600 is the top 600 companies in the entire European Union. So this is telling you about what is happening in the overall Europe, not only in just one country, but पूरा Europe में क्या चल रहा है. So it's good to have a look. पता होना चाहिए कि यार अगर इंडिया गिर रहा है, if India is falling, is it just because of India or because of the global markets? That is what it measures. Then finally I come to Nifty, I come to Bank Nifty, and आपको पता ही ये तो चलो depending upon what I want to do. Then I also look at the India VIX. That is what we put in the bottom. उसको भी follow करो and put BTC. Just I will say for the sake of it, put Bitcoin. I will teach correlation later, but basically Bitcoin is a competitor of dollar. If dollar gets weaker, Bitcoin becomes stronger. So it is good. And in a way, Bitcoin and emerging market like India will move in same direction because even India is like a inverse guy with dollar. समझाऊंगा बाद में, but just put it for the time being. Then I would like you all to put some ratios. I will take doubts in 1 minute. I want to, IMOEX. IMOEX is nothing but Russia. ये क्या है? Russia है. So I've just put it there because of the March में. I was using it in March में. अब नहीं देखता because March में I wanted to see when Russia stops this volatility. But हुआ क्या था? When I put the index, it stopped trading. So 1 month it was not trading. Now so इसको छोड़ दो. It's not important. I can just, you can put it there because if some news happens in Russia, this will show to you. It will not be seen in India Nifty, but ये दिख जाएगा आपको यहाँ पे. So अभी दिख रहा है 4% डाउन है, मतलब कुछ हुआ है. Because we are, reading the reports. Russia is saying if you join NATO, Finland, I will put nuclear weapon. So all these things will be shown here. Finally, just one thing, if the meeting ends ना, थोड़ा सा दोबारा join कर लेना. Sorry. So finally, I also look at SPDR. I'll show later, but I look at these ratios. ये बहुत important है. And I don't think a lot of people in India understand the importance. But if you read books by market technicians, like I said, John Bogle, John Murphy, हर आदमी ये कहता करो. Because see, it is not important कि यार Nifty energy बढ़ रहा है. It is also important because when you are looking at the chart of, let us say, Bank Nifty, when you look at the chart of Bank Nifty, this is telling you what is Bank Nifty doing on an absolute basis. What are the banks doing independent of the market? But when you define a ratio, ये बड़ा different approach है, but बहुत important है. When you define a ratio, मतलब when I say Nifty energy divided by Nifty, it is not only showing you absolute strength, but it is also showing you relative strength. कि what is Nifty doing with respect to its weightage in Nifty. How do you get it? समझा देता हूँ. Go to the plus icon. Click over here, whatever you want. Do you want TCS weightage in Nifty? वो चाहिए. Or you want Nifty Media. Click on Nifty Media, for example. Nifty Media. इसको click करो. Right? Divided by that slash mark Nifty. I want to see what is Nifty Media weightage in Nifty. Click on Nifty. Now click on enter. This will come over here. Nifty Media divide by Nifty. दिखा रहा है इसका 0.15 weightage है. कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. Because it's not an important sector. So just like that, I have defined some weightages. I have done energy because I need it right now. I have defined for metals. Nifty metal divide by metal. So इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब ये है, if the Nifty metal by Nifty sector is breaking out, go bullish on Nifty metal, go bullish on Nifty metal stocks. This is a very very good approach. कभी-कभी क्या होता है? You must have seen Nifty metal breakout करता है, but it fails. But if you do this approach, ये आपको दिखा रहा है that Nifty metal strength has broken out. Then go to Nifty Metal, then buy Nifty Metal stocks. That is what it is showing you. Same thing for Nifty IT. Why are we not buying Nifty IT? Because currently we are massively undervalued. We were currently at 2.1 weightage. Now we are at 1.95 weightage. So if this starts to break down, Nifty IT starts to become weaker. Because that's going to be a breakdown of the relative strength or a support of Nifty IT. समझ आ रहा है मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? Please join the meeting once again. Thank you. एक बार join दोबारा करो. Thanks.